Imagine that you are a young woman who enlists in the army to escape your life in a small town, only to end up in a place where you must guard a group of Muslim men who hate you because you are an American woman and an infidel. She is a tough but compassionate guard who tries to do her job well, but cannot help falling in love with an intelligent, funny, and charming prisoner. The opening scene is dark and sinister. A man returns home in a world in chaos where the television screams with terror and tragedy. He pays no attention to the misfortunes of the world and heads to a table where he places his keys and phone. He then goes into a room where he kneels and prays, but his prayers are interrupted by a shadowy figure that seizes him and drags him into an infernal camp. 8 years later, we witness a parade of soldiers passing in front of the cages of the damned, who hurl insults and curses at them. They are led into a room where they receive their orders and an overview of their new reality from their chief, Ransdale, who looks for volunteers to tame a wild beast. A fresh-faced recruit, Call, steps forward. She is instructed to hold the arm of the beast, but he strikes her with his fury. She steps back and the others subdue him. They tie him up and take him out of his lair where he spits on Call. She retaliates by kicking him before he is tied to a chair and thrown into his pit. On the bus, the incident becomes the subject of conversation. Ransdale tries to charm Call, but she pushes him away. She then calls her mother that night on video conference. The next day, her job is to deliver books to the monsters locked up. She hopes to find a glimmer of humanity in their eyes, but all she sees is hatred and contempt. One of them at her, making her shiver. Ransdale intervenes, his voice like a blade, and tells her to step back. The monster says he will take a book, but only from the hand of Hansdale. Ransdale says that women are not welcome in their world. Call pushes the cart to the next cage, number 105. The monster inside rambles about Harry Potter and 16 adventures. He says he has been waiting for the last book for 2 years. Call tells him to stop complaining and choose from those they have. They ask for the book Askab, and Cole wonders if it is some kind of rebellious manifesto. He says it is part of the story of Harry Potter. She loses patience and tells him to hurry up. He chooses a book and she moves on. She goes swimming later, trying to clear her mind. She looks at the sky where the clouds are soft and serene. She wishes she could feel the same. The next day, she has to check the monsters again. She ignores their mockery and their curses, except for the one in cage 105. He calls her princess and tries to make conversation. He says his name is Allie and asks her for her name. She does not answer. She just tells him to be quiet. She says he reminds her of a movie villain who loved talking too much. He says he does not know the movie, and she gets angry, saying it was probably forbidden where he came from. He asks if she means Germany, and she is perplexed. Another says something in a foreign language, and they wrap their holy book in white cloths. Allie asks for water and promises to be quiet. She opens the slot of his cage and gives him a bottle. He throws something in her face, something brown and foul-smelling. She screams and other soldiers come to help her. She has a chance to relax today. She joins the others on a yacht and fishes for pleasure. She hopes to forget the horrors of her job, but all she feels is guilt and disgust. Reamsdale flirts with her, his voice like honey, and tells her to let loose. She drinks too much, too fast, and begins to feel dizzy. She goes to the bathroom and finds dirty magazines. Ransdale follows her and she teases him. They kiss and touch each other, but she feels nothing. She tells him to stop, but he does not listen. She pushes him away and runs out. Meanwhile, Allie is tortured in different ways. He is moved from cell to cell every 2 hours as a punishment. He does not know what day it is nor what time it is. Call sees his cell being searched. She picks up a cup and sees a magnificent drawing. A soldier takes it and throws it into a bag as evidence. She leaves and sees Allie, weak and bruised, dragged by 2 guards. She slips into the office and finds Allie's file. She opens it and sees photos of him unconscious and bloodied. The last photo shows someone holding his face like a puppet. She feels sick and angry. She looks at his record and sees that he already has many infractions. She sees a code name, Alfred Hitchcock in the block, and asks another soldier what it means. He says it means that a psychologist visits the prisoner. She thanks him and leaves while he goes back to playing cards on his computer. She has a question today. to ask someone about Harry Potter. She hopes to find a friend who shares her interest, but all she gets is a smirk and a snicker. He asks her why she cares, and she quickly changes the subject. During the rounds, Call glances at Ali and sees that he is playing with numbers. He notices her gaze and stands up, holding a paper. He asks her if she knows Sudoku and says he has finished all the books they had. He says he must make his own puzzles using his brain and his pen. He begins to talk about Sudoku and about how he went to university. He tries to give her the paper, but she refuses, saying that it is against the rules. Ali then loses his temper and starts ranting about the rules. He says the paper is a secret message and that she is right to be afraid. He throws it into the toilet and flushes it. She tells him that the Harry Potter book he wanted is not in the library, despite what another guard had told him. He apologizes for being annoying and says he hates not knowing how things are going to end. The prisoners are caught in their hall while the soldiers salute their flag. 8 months later, she has a challenge today, to make the starving prisoners eat. She hopes to save them from their own stubbornness, but all she encounters is silence and defiance. None of them accepts her offer. Later, one of them is taken out of his cell and tied up like a sacrificial lamb. A needle pierces his skin and pumps him with liquid food. An officer from Oran asks the other soldiers if they know why the prisoners refuse to eat. Call says she heard that he wanted an elliptical machine. The officer enters the block and speaks to the prisoners, granting his request. Call watches Ali as he juggles in a cage. She asks him if he will ever use the elliptical, and he says no, like the others. She asks why, and he says she should ask Mahmoud, the one who requested it. He says he only managed 12 juggles that day, and that another prisoner from another block claims to have done 40, but he does not believe it. He says only the guards can see the other block. He thinks the other prisoner is lying. Call tells him that if he beats the record of 40 juggles, she will testify for him. He tries again but only makes 8 and jokes that it is 48. She says that obedient prisoners can play football on a field with other prisoners and that he will be able to join them sooner. He says he knows, but he will not do it because it would mean helping their abuses. He calms down and says she probably thinks he is stupid, but Call says he is not, joking that he is smart enough to go to university. They laugh together before Mahmoud walks past them and writes on Ali. Call is called away by Hansdell, and he asks her what he was talking about. She says it was nothing. Hansdell says that in that case, he should not talk at all. Ali calls Call and says he made 20 juggles, making her smile. Ransdell tells her that he needs her help to monitor the showers because the other men are busy. Ransdell tells Ali to undress and take a shower. Ali hesitates with Call, but Ransdell threatens to send a team to force him. Ali obeys, and Hansdell makes sure that Call watches those who violate their faith and their dignity. She has a shock today, discovering that Ransdell lied to her. She hopes to get justice for what he did, but all she is faced with is betrayal and suffocation. None of the other soldiers supports her, and she writes a report against Ransdell. She is summoned to the superior's office, and he takes Ransdell's side and dismisses her report. He says that she is too friendly with Ali and that she is jeopardizing the mission. He says there will soon be a hearing and dismisses her. She goes to the mess hall and sits with Cruz. Cruz asks her if the food was good, then tells her that someone tried to commit suicide the other night. Call is confused because the prisoners are watched like hawks by the soldiers. Cruz says that it was not a prisoner who tried, but a guard who survived by chance. Call begins to say that she feels guilty, but Cruz cuts her off, saying that she is being deceived by the prisoners. He leaves, and Hansdell passes by her and mocks her. She continues to do her job as a guard, but she begins to see the prisoners as human beings. She also becomes more solitary among the soldiers. She has a change today, working the night shift. She hopes to avoid the trouble she caused, but all she finds is more solitude and regret. None of the other soldiers cares about her, and she cleans a cell alone. She hears that she is being transferred to the night shift. Meanwhile, Ali looks at the clock outside his cell and feels a pang of disappointment. He asks if the clock is correct, and the soldier says yes. He asks where Call is, but he gets no answer. During the night shift, Call passes by Ali's cell during rounds and sees that he is sleeping. She walks away, but Ali hears her steps and wakes up. He calls her by her name and stands up. Call tells him to go back to sleep, but he says he never sleeps well anyway. He wants to ask her why she is there, but he knows she cannot say. Call says that she reported someone. Ali does not know what reported means and thinks it is something from Harry Potter. She explains that it means to denounce someone. He understands that she reported Rems, even if she does not say his name. Ali asks her why she is there in the first place. She turns the question back on him, and he swears that he is not a terrorist. He talks about his home and tells her that he is from Germany, while Call says she comes from a small town. Another soldier arrives and gives Call a coffee, saying that she will not be on the night shift for long. Ali asks her what date it is, and she says it is July 14th. He realizes that she will leave next month because the guards change every August. He asks her if she will come back, and she says no. Call says that she has learned a lot from her time here and that the new guards will also learn. Ali asks her what she has learned and reminds her that they are enemies. He takes out his Quran and pulls out a blade that was hidden inside. He kneels on the ground and Call sees him holding the knife. He presses it against his throat and tells her that if she calls for help, he will cut himself. She tries to calm him down, but he says he is tired of being locked up here and that he is not really living anyway. Call tells him that her name is Amy and that she comes from Moravian in Florida. She asks him if there is a zoo in Bremen, which surprises him. Call says that she used to go to the zoo when she was a child because she wanted to see something different from her town. She felt sad seeing the animals locked in small cages. Ali says he knows what she is trying to say, that the zookeepers have no choice but to keep the animals there, but she disagrees. She says she thinks the animals deserve to be free. Call makes a few rounds around the block before checking on Ali again. She sees that he is still alive, still holding the knife against his throat, but this time he is crying. He drops the knife and gives it to her. Call holds him as he cries, and both of them share this moment. Today she says her goodbyes. She leaves the place that changed her life. She hopes to find a bit of peace and comfort, but all she feels is sadness and emptiness. Ali lies on his bed, thinking of her. He hears a knock at his door and gets up. He sees a new soldier holding a cart of books. Ali mocks him, but then his eyes widen. He sees something on the cart that makes his heart race. He asks the soldiers to give it to him, and he takes it into his hands. It is the last Harry Potter book, the one he had been waiting for so long. He opens it and sees a note from Call. It says, "I'm sorry I couldn't say goodbye. I hope you enjoy the book. Take care of yourself, Ali." The film ends as Call leaves the camp while Ali sits on his bed and begins to read the book, a gift from her. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If so, don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more movie summaries. And don't forget to leave a comment below to tell me what you think of the movie. Thanks for watching and see you soon. Bye.